everybody, it's Zazu Siosi, physical therapist, here with your Movement Minute for today. So today we're going to talk a little bit about breathing. Did you know that breathing is something that you do about 20,000 times a day? It is pretty much an unconscious thing that we do. If your muscles aren't very optimized, when you do it 20,000 times every day, can certainly add up and lead to some issues. So here are just some things for you to think about in regards to your own breathing. So when we breathe, we should have expansion of our trunk and of our rib cage in what I like to call 360-degree breathing. That means that the front and the back of the rib cage should open like this, and that from side to side of the rib cage you get out and in as well. And so really 360 degrees should be how your rib cage is moving when you're taking optimal breaths. So the diaphragm is a very large umbrella-shaped muscle that is located basically just here at the bottom of the rib cage. And it almost, encases the bottom part of the rib cage. And it inserts into the spinal column, and that's where it can really pull from. So when we are, running or we're doing something really hard, maybe like a workout and you have a rest break, usually what you'll see people, the position in which you'll see people recovering is kind of like a bent over type of position. And that's because when you are flexed forward, your diaphragm gets put in the optimal position to actually do its thing, to actually do its muscle action of moving up and moving down. So it's really important for you to kind of just assess what's your breathing like. And certainly if you have underlying respiratory condition, that is a serious deal that you should get checked out by your healthcare provider if it's not already been looked at. But most of us throughout the day, we kind of go through shallow breathing. And then as we require more energy, you're going to require, deeper breaths. And if you think about it, that makes sense because you're going to require more oxygen to your muscles and to your body to be able to perform whatever movement, whatever it is that you're trying to do. So sometimes when we are, not moving or active as much, we kind of start to just breathe shallowly all of the time, which it's just like any other muscle, right? So if you are just used to doing, one type of muscle contraction or using your muscles in a very specific way, but not increasing the full scope of, range of motion of that muscle, then you're going to basically kind of decondition that muscle, and you're going to basically need to retrain that so that you have all of the variability that you need to be able to tap into when you all of a sudden need to run across the room to grab your little one because they're about to go down the stairs, whatever. Or all of a sudden you need to pick something up very heavy that maybe you weren't expecting, or you have to move a certain way, those types of things. And so when your body doesn't have all of the movement options or isn't used to having all of the movement options, that's where we start to see injuries and chronic pain or pain start to pop up because your body was kind of pushed past the point where it wasn't ready for that because it doesn't have that training because we've basically conditioned our body to do just what feels easy, and that's not always the best thing. So here's a few things to just think about with your breathing, just something to assess yourself. So when you are just sitting at the computer or sitting at the dinner table, sitting wherever, do you find that you are getting, expansion through your ribs? Do you feel like you're getting expansion through your tummy? Where do you feel like you're getting air from, or that you are moving from when you're just breathing, day to day, without having, to exert yourself at a higher level? So, are you, again, getting that 360 type of expansion through the rib cage? Are you more of a belly breather, and the rib cage doesn't move as much? So, a cool way to kind of check this out is to put one hand on your sternum or on your chest here, and then another hand on your tummy. And so when you get into this position, you can do it sitting like this, you can do it laying down, you can do it standing up against a wall, like you can do it in several different ways. Those are just some options. So I'm going to do it in sitting here. So when I take a breath, I'm looking at, does my upper hand move more than my lower hand? Does my lower hand move more than my upper hand? Are they both moving about the same? Are they both really not moving very much at all? And those are all things that you want to think about as you're doing this exercise. So let's see. All right, so what I could feel was that, my upper chest was expanding up into my hand, and I could also feel, my rib cage was kind of coming out a little bit more. You could almost even see it with my arms as I took a deep breath in, kind of that lateral expansion happening. I felt my tummy inflate as I took a breath in, and then everything kind of deflate back down. So for me, this is something that I do fairly often. I've checked in with, how my breathing is, and so I have conditioned everything to work all together. Now it's your turn to check out your breathing at home, and next week we will learn how to assess our lateral breathing strategies. Bye!